you know, how Constantine, the emperor, who first embraced Christianity and then manipulated the Bible, um, and then spewed it out as the King James Version. I believe it was 1611, if I'm not mistaken. And that 1611 has a lot to do with where we are today. And I called him Constantine because instead of Constantine, because it all goes together. And I'll show you. And you probably saw the little thing. So the name Constantine in itself, think about it. It can be broken down into the prefix con. And though it's Constantine, Stan again with gravity falls. It's a name for Satan. It's just in the language thing. So it's con Satan. And then instead of tine, in the way upside down Gematria works, you can just put a 19 right there. And so again, it has everything to do with what I'm about to explain to you as far as the Gematria. So pardon me. I've explained to you guys before that no empire is known to last more than 246 years, and that's where we are in America, 246 years old from the Declaration of Independence. But this actually goes back to before that, so I want to show you just a couple of things. The reason why the year that we're in, 2022, is so important is for several reasons. And I wanted you to see that this says 2022, okay? This also says 2022 without the zero. Just picture it's in there. So you can see how these twos look like sixes and how these twos look like sevens, okay? So in essence, the year 2022 is being used and manipulated, and I'll continue to explain because it does that, which represents 1776, which if you add together is 777, which is the name of David in Hebrew. It's also today's date because it's 9+8 is 17, which I wrote here. And then 2022 is here, but without the zero. So it appears as 1777, or if you write it, the 17 over here, it would be 1776. So it's all representative, and the reason why the Queen of England died today, I'm sure. Because it was really close to that time was the Queen of England's, I forget which birthday, when Prince died under the cherry moon on that weekend. So that was a Jubilee birthday for her or something like that on that weekend. And that was the whole reason for the movie Under the Cherry Moon. So anyway, relevant to the date, the name of David, and the whole thing that I'm trying to tell you. So 2022 minus 1611, which is when the Christianity, was introduced. It gives you 411. What's the 411? Okay. I've explained to you guys before. It looks like a 9 also. You close off the 4 at the top. It looks like a 4 and also a 6. It becomes very relevant because the Bible was introduced in 1611. So it's also 911. They play the numbers game because the reason that the year 2022 that we're in is relevant also is because you're made to subtract. And when you do, you also get 911 across the top when you borrow. So, you have to borrow and then you get 1911. So when you get it all the ways, then you also get pi, which is the 314 pi equation. It's pi. It's the reason all the ICR files start with 16. If you followed my videos, you know. If you haven't, you might be a little confused, and I'm sorry. But what I mean to say is the whole 1776 thing. Oh, let me show you something too. If I haven't caught your attention with it before, the 2022 is also representative of Biden's Build Back Better because they also appear as little b's. It's all code, you guys. It just is. So you don't need the zero in Gematria. So what do you get? You have 666. 2022 can be like 6s or 9s. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It is what I'm telling you it is. Now, also when you take, the 2022 and minus the, I'm saying 1776 is where they indoctrinated us to believe that we were given our Constitution. We're now 246 years from that. But what I'm saying is the math comes out the same. And you can see these twos look like 7s. Okay. Stay with me, guys. I have a point. Also, 2022 minus 1914, you guys, is when World War I was. Or excuse me, I'm sorry, when I'm looking at this backwards. If you add 2022 and 1914, you're going to get 3,936. And in Gematria, it's GE or GE. I've explained that. It's also egg, GE or GE, which is relevant to the code word George, which I've explained, because in the numbers and in the code, it just is what I say. GE or GE. That's why they use George Washington, George Bush, senior and junior, George Orwell, George Floyd. But it's also the reason why the Pope Francis, who everybody knows his name to be Pope Francis, his real name is actually Jorge or George. It's with a J, Jorge. So the J and the G in the Kabbalah are also interchangeable for the third number, in case you're curious. And so it gives us GE or GE with the Pope's name, George. And I've also explained to you before that I can't think of his middle names and right off. Jorge something Margoli, something that spells Gog Magog. And I've explained that to you on the other videos if you watch them. So the GE and the GE is the same thing. And the reason why I keep mentioning the Pope is because if I'm not mistaken, let me take a breath. From my life after life, because we are all reincarnated souls in ways that I can't begin to explain. Jorge, George, Georgie Porgy put in pie, kissed the boys and made them cry. He is reincarnate of, I need to watch what I say, but I'm pretty sure it was like Constantine and like Satan. And that's why I've told you guys before in my other videos that the big push that he's doing right now is for all of the Holy See, what they call their Holy See, is to get and collect all the finances of all the Catholic conglomerates that are out there into his possession by 9/30 of this month, September 30th, which is also in Gematria 9/3. So it has to do with the egg at Paisley Park also. It's the whole coding and all of this goes together for you guys that are watching. The GE or GE, you guys, it's also 6/9. I have to glance over here because I have a couple notes. It's also 6/9. It's why the sexual joke 69, but it's also 69 is also EA because in the Gematria they flow. So with the EA, it gives us the Eastern European Union. Why they use the name Yale because it's all coded in there. The AE, it's the breakdown of America has taken place for the purpose of disguising our creator. It's why I come here and tell you that the one I met when I stood there, when I died, the one the world knows as Prince Rogers Nelson is as an alien machine man, God. I don't know how else to say it. And like I always say, he knows my heart. And I mean to be as reverent as I can. Because he showed himself to me as so many things. And the one we knew as Prince was only one of them that he showed me. So the fact that he is, I try to get his permission to call him an alien. The creator is alien to the way we know the world. And the way that his intellectual being was sold to the others, the way that they used it, they used part of the sale wasn't only for the music and things like that. I'm talking about before that. It was sorry. He didn't, somehow his intellectual property was enslaved in such a way, because in a way, although the plan is his, he didn't know any better. And somehow there was some tricks, and I'm not really sure on all that. And I'm not trying to explain all those things, you guys. I'm just trying to let you know how deep this stuff goes. The fact that our creator is alien, the powers, the others in the world, the ones that do Area 51, like I don't know, maybe the stuff Trump is hiding, like I say, it's why they have Independence Day. It's everybody knows. So he exposed that to me because he knew I would tell the world because of the love that I have, as awkward as it is. So what I mean to say is that because the others, the KKK, the NWO, the Merovingian bloodline, Illuminati, Jack Hole Hall, K Hall, they all have this plan they took this intellectual property and sold it, packaged it, took the real Hebrew Torah and repackaged it in the KJV Bible, Kirk Johnson version, and gave it to the world and sold it as Christianity. And that's why Constantine was the first one to do that. The Roman dude embraces Christianity, hires all these people to sit in caves and change the whole entire Bible and say, no, this is God. This is who God is. And by the way, when we wrote in the New Testament, we gave him a son, just one, all the offspring of Adam and Eve, but hey, just Jesus. And Mary, again, she was immaculately conceived. You know, it's not like Star Wars at all. You know what I'm saying? She got pregnant by a Holy Ghost. Yes, God can do anything. He sure can, and he will. And he'll show you that I'm telling the truth. My point is that the alien aspect, the AI, the technology has been used against us as a people, and the trickle-down effect into our America, Merkava, as we know it today, with the 1776 and the name of King David. I've explained all that. But the 1776 being that with the Gematria and the math, the 246 years is all relevant. That this is what I mean to say. I was trying to explain it to my daughter today. It's hard to say. The Creator told me that the breakdown of each reincarnated, like, so you have all the 600,000 souls on, you know, in the beginning, and when people reincarnate and come through time, like I have, I'm more than just Elizabeth. I'm a soul on the inside, and you're gonna know me, and you're gonna know yourself too, and that's the cool thing. But how do I say that our generation here in America from the 1776 down, that was going to be broken down. It's why the song The Breakdown, but it was going to be by cinema, by the phones, everything that I want to be a little bit more detailed than I usually am about it, because my Rabbi Rav Dor is always saying it's al marashikra, this world that we live in. It's a world of illusions. It's a Hebrew word, al marashikra. It's pretty cool, right? Say it, al marashikra. Sounds good. The world of illusions, and philosophers will say it, and I'm saying it, and people are like, they're looking outside, they're seeing the trees, they're seeing the cars, they're seeing, you know, and it's real. And it's like, how can you tell a person who hasn't traveled into the afterworld, such as myself, that what they're seeing is an illusion? It's almost impossible. But what that means is, for people who have seen it, from at least from my perspective, is because the Creator showed himself to me as everything. And when I say that, what do I mean? One of the coolest things that he did, you guys, was when it was very, I always call it the space place. It's not like these pearly gates like you see on TV and in the movies because of the cinema. It was very spacey, very much like space. And very clinical, and nothing was there that didn't need to be there. And I can't remember all the things. And I'm sorry I'm closing my eyes, but it helps me to remember. And when he took me somewhere, and then he showed me how he was, man, it's like the way that we see the earth, the globe, the Milky Way. The person that we know as Prince Rogers Nelson, as fine as he wanted to be, standing there, like he showed me how he was like, all I can say is the Milky Way. It's in that too is MW, which is 3-3, which is East meets West. It's like how he's everything. And how we were all of our souls that are inside of us attached in some, I don't know the right words to use, celestial, galactic kind of way, in which, if you guys could feel the knots in my stomach, that our souls can't normally perceive, but because of the way that our America. Well, I was telling you about the creation, so let me get back to that. He showed me himself as that, and he showed me himself like as Prince standing in front of me, but there was no solidity where I was, and everything was very much holographic. And so what he showed me also was that people sometimes think, they open their Bible and read it and they think about creation as having been created and then it's done. And here we are in these, 4 seasons, at least in Michigan, recycling through, yada yada, and they don't think about things being created all the time, all the time, all the time, all the time, all the time. It's under the creator's power all the time. And in it's you, and that's, I think, kind of what is meant by the world is the world of illusions, because it's a trip, you guys. I'm sorry, it's hard to explain. Let me get back to the religion thing. He showed himself to me as everything, and that's because what I came here to talk about. And because he knew, because he foresaw the future, obviously you're the creator, and he knew the ways in which the others were, how the world was going to go. And he knew that it would be on TV screens and on phones and our cinema. And I always say this, what I was trying to tell my daughter, is that cinema, Cinema, in the way that the language is broken down, you can replace the C with an S and have sin, Emma. And then if you look at it upside down, it's like why it's said in the movie Batman, this town needs an enema, because he told me that the breakdown of our generation was going to be not just a breakdown. It's a breakdown of God, is what I mean to say. It's a breakdown of Hashem and who he is. And he allowed them to do it in such a way that he could expose himself at the end of it. And that's what I can say about that. But because the others were allowed to believe that they had reigned supreme on this intellectual property, I really can't speak for them, but I know that when I was there in the heavenlies that day, that there was some kind of deal made. I'm not sure. Had to do with temptation and the do-over of the Adam and Eve story, and being that the snake has such a robust sexual appetite, and things like that I didn't come here to talk about today. But you guys, it's important to know that the illusion is what I mean to say. The illusion of movies. Like, they want us to think that Star Wars is some fantasy. They want us to think that all these scary Stephen King movies are fantasy, that these John Travolta phenomena movies are just fantasies. But that comes from somewhere. That knowledge that comes from somewhere, and it's all because Warner Brothers and the media, and they're all owned by the same corporations, which you can trace back to the NWO and the KKK, and I don't care who you are. It's true. It just is. And when I was in the heaven place, and he told me that this fake world that we live in was going to portray God a certain way, and that they were going to be able to be lied to about this man named Jesus, which is, you guys, I freaked out in this heavenly place. I fought with the creator. I fought because I believed that when I was there, and I've told this before, that I had professed on John 3:16 back in 90 something, 4 maybe. And then continued search, and recently in the last couple of years found Hebrew, and had searched in 2013 and different things like that. But I never rested on the whole Jesus thing, because it wasn't a good fit for me, and I knew that there was something more to it, and that we were all God's children, and that I didn't feel comfortable calling on the name of somebody that had never really done anything for me, that I didn't know. But I knew when I prayed to God, when I said Adonai, or when I said, God, I said, if you're real, I never prayed to him as Prince, you guys, even before I died. Why would I do that? I didn't do that. I've said it before. The Prince music led me to understand my Bible more. And my Bible, the music was always talking about God and leanness to it. And he had to portray that in a certain way, with the whole Jesus aspect too, because, you're under contract to say certain things. And then after that, it became that he was the participant of the Kingdom Hall. And that too is another big lie. It's it's not where I wanted to go today, but well, it kind of is, because the whole religious thing, you guys, I'm not, man, I wish you could feel my heart. I wish you could know my heart. It's funny that people post memes and stuff, and I don't know. I know that some people just think I'm crazy, and I've tried to understand it to the best of my ability. I really don't care anymore. Like, 1 minute. You guys, we've been enslaved into a system, tricked into believing in, Marvel heroes and Superman and all these different things, because this whole, you guys, I'm not for the Gaia channel because it starts with a G. So does Gotham. So did Goliath. It goes back to the Aleph Bet thing. The G and the the Illuminati thing. It's rough to take, you guys, and it really, I think if I was watching these videos and I didn't know me, I know that I'm believable because I know that I'm telling the truth. And I'm not begging you to believe me. I'm putting this out there because, like I said, whether it's today, 2 weeks from now, October, or your last December, you're going to see that I'm telling the truth, because the Creator tells me these things to tell to you. It's just not in a voice like this voice that you hear coming out of my mouth. There's a little bit of, lag, and I can't, you just can't hear clearly, and you have to, and there's a lot of dreams and a lot of visions and things that you can just hear, and then you guys have been with me hopefully long enough to know that that's where all these books come from. It's where all the writings come from. And I'm not here to create something for Elizabeth Pride. I'm here to create something for the world, and I'm trying to help you guys. I figure if I could help you see the math behind it, if I could help you understand that there's the whole breakdown of the language from Hebrew to Greek to English. I've tried those kind of videos. I've tried pretty much everything, and I'm going to keep trying, but I want to get back to something. Is people, I know they have a super hard time believing that the one the world knew as Prince Rogers Nelson before 2010 is the Creator. He just showed him. That was just one way in which he showed himself. It's why he would sing, "Should I become naked, no image at all?" It's why in the why did he commit suicide videos that I'm promoting now, it's why all the assistants and people were used as lookalikes, because in the way that I remember it, it's hard, you guys. It's hard because towards the end, I think he got sick or something, and so they had to start using these clones and lookalikes, and maybe that's where they got the idea to, I don't know. I can't tell you everything, but I do remember that he was sick, and that's why I was brought there in 2010, and getting old or something. And it's a trip, you guys. Everything, like I said before, seeing your Holy Life books holographically. My childhood at school was shown to me. I was there with other holy souls and other. I was told that I've mentioned this before, my family line. There's a reason that there's been so much strife and angst and pain, in all of our lives, but in my life in particular, I can only speak about mine, with, abuse, alcoholism, sexual abuse, rape, suicide, multiple times over, it's overdoses, it's drug abuse, it's like people want to sit back and judge, but when you look at the righteous people in the Bible, they all had issues in their family too. And what the Creator had told me was that each and every one of us is somehow, some way, the more we suffer in this life, the bigger our souls are in some way in the next life. And people are scared to suffer, but I'm not really scared to suffer. It kind of sucks, but I've suffered my whole life. And through that time, I was just only drawn closer to God. So that's why I've been able to suffer, because when I've been at my lowest, I even, as a kid, I knew that there was a reason. And so I would say to whoever, I didn't know who I was talking to please save me and show me a reason for this. And then when my family started to die off and fall out around me like flies, I knew that there was a reason that God kept me here. So then I was praying to somebody that I didn't really know, I was trying to get to know. And so I always went full force with my heart because I didn't have anything else. Nobody else. I had this vision and this knowledge of God within me, and this thing that I could not see, but I could feel and hear at the time. And I clung to it, you guys, and I fought for it like the mother lioness that I am with my children, even more so with God. And so that's just, there's a generation of peoples that were used, and myself, I'm one of them. And it's not to say that to be boastful or arrogant, because that's just not anything that I am. It's to be truthful, and because he makes me say certain things. Because the truth is just going to get bigger and bigger every time I come here, because the more I talk, the more I hear. And it's not about me. It's about me trying to let you guys know that you have got to find your own connection to him, to the creator, because it's you and him, man. There ain't no Jesus in the middle. And speaking of Jesus, it's why, and let me remind you, because sus, just take the J, which we talked about in the name Jorge. Sus, S-U-S at the end. It's the reason Purple Rain was written in a suspended 2 or a sus2 chord, because it's that sustained chord at the end where it's 4 and then 6. Go look it up. I don't have time to explain it. He taught me, but I can't explain it. And so it was all for a reason, and it was to bring us to this grand conclusion, where the whole world will not only turn purple, it is what I say it is. There is a plan upon us. Why, you guys? Because your soul is what they want. Your soul energy is what they feed off of. Your holy, holy, holy soul, your DNA that you were built when you were in your mama's womb, that's all holy and shiny. And from the moment you come out into this false reality, what do we call it? Al-Marashikra, the world of illusions. From the moment you come out screaming and take that breath of air because you just got pushed out of the place you want to be, that's us trying to get back to our creator in this world. Okay, so here we are in this world, and we just want to get back to our creator like that baby wanted to be in its mama's womb, where it was all comfortable. But that's why the creator said, from the womb to the tomb, in this murk of America that we live in, we're under attack, you guys. And it's because they want to separate you from the source of your creator, so that you're more controllable, so that you live in fear, so that you give your 10% and more, so that they can drive Bentleys and have 6 cars and 17 purple suits to wear on one day if they want to. I'm just saying. It gives the other Islamic religious communities an excuse to make their women, look like this. And again, I'm not trying to be offensive, but that is not what God asked us for. It is only because the world has become so separated from him that they do the things that they do, because they put themselves, men, in control and not God. There's going to be some ugly things that happen in the world. There is. And the Pope, like I said earlier, is making a push for, if you go read, I read up on the Vatican news. It makes me nauseous, but I do. See him driving around in his Mercedes pimp mobile over there and making a call for all that money. And he's also, like I said before, trying to deny people their individuality, their uniqueness, and say that he's just making this huge push for Jesus, because with these things that are planned for the world in a weird way that I can't explain, it's how the dark disguises himself as light. And the breakdown was to disguise the true creator. And the reason they thought they were going to get away with it is because they didn't count on a soul like mine that just doesn't care. You guys, I'll do anything for God, like anything, as long as I know it's right and true and good. There's nothing I won't do, and that's what I told him before, and that's what I'm saying now. So that's what he's using me for. So I don't know if you have your limits as to what you will do with him, what you will pray for, what you won't, but in this dark time, they wanted to disguise our creator so that we couldn't recognize him and separate us from him. And then you have a bunch of people thinking, oh my gosh, our creator has left us. Now what do we do? Well, again comes the, if it does, I don't know, the RFID chip that's made by AIG, which is the same as Gaia, GAIA. It all comes back to the IA. It's why the name David has AI in it. It's artificial intelligence. It has something to do with why the cinema was chosen as well. It has something to do with how he, the creator, exposes himself to the world as all things, and not just Prince Rogers Nelson, but it might even be all the singers. I'm not sure. But like, what if you think what I'm saying sounds crazy? All you got to do is go listen to how Paris Jackson, if you believe in these things, tried to tell the world about the Illuminati. You know, Britney Spears with the whole umbrella and the shaving of the head, Michael Jackson, Whitney. Everybody knows that it's out there, but nobody knows exactly why. And what I'm telling you is that it goes back to the Merovingian bloodline, because they are the bloodline of Cain, and they see themselves as the right and proper heirs to the throne. They long trickle down, MK Ultra. It's why Kirk and Marone. It's, you guys, I know what it sounds like. I do. I remember being in life after life and being shown certain things as if they were far off somewhere, but he showed me, and I said, F that then, and I'm saying it now, because I couldn't believe what men had done to themselves, when left to their own devices without a creator. In a way, they were left to do things their own way, and look where that's gotten us. And all I'm saying is there's a good and evil in the world. I'm trying to give you the reason why. I'm trying to make you understand why we sold our freedom numerically. I'm trying to make you understand that we are reincarnated souls, that the math matters. You guys, to me, one of the worst things is being sold on freedom here in America, and then being told freedom isn't free. And then, like I say, losing family members and lives to this war machine. And that's all it is a war machine, because the UN and the whole, oh, let's pretend we're doing this and let's pretend we're doing that and making a war. No, it's all for show. It's all part of the movie. It's all part of the movie. Trump and his Mar-a-Lago, or whatever it is, paperwork in Florida, it's all part of the show. CNN is owned by Warner Brothers, you guys. It's a show. And pretty soon it's going to say, that's all, folks. And you're going to have to answer for yourself and your connection to the creator and how you tried to find it. Now, when I say that, you guys, believe you me, he doesn't judge us like we judge ourselves. They understand in heaven that we live in this weird place. And we all have our purposes. We do. And the person that you see, the woman that you see sitting before you, don't mistake it for the soul inside. I will never stop trying to bring the truth, no matter how ridiculed, no matter how many times called a liar. It doesn't matter, because truth matters. I want you guys to recognize, I want you to research, I want you to know that people talk about alien abductions. The majority of those, the way I understand it, are man-made. They are planned on certain susceptible people. Probably some willing participants voluntarily tell their stories, but they're man-made for now. And I'm not sure if their little Project Bluebeam scenario will go down or not. I don't know. I'm not trying to call those things, but I know that there's something darker coming before the creator is able to expose himself, because it takes something catastrophic, like picture 9/11. Again, let's go back to the math. What do we have, you guys, with the Constantine from the beginning? It's the original 411, or you can see 911, and it's why 9/11 was on. And here's going to be the big push in a day or two for never forget 9/11, never forget Constantine, never forget that the math of 2022 leads to those same things and those same conclusions. That's what they're going to be pushing at us, you guys. And it's all to bring your soul low, to make your soul feel controlled, to make you live in fear of what could happen again, and to put you in a certain state of mind. Now, I'm trying to free you from that state of mind. That's what I'm here for. I'm trying to free the soul within you so that you can bypass that state of mind, fear, or thinking that you are less than, because you're not. They would have you to believe you are, because the fear and the anxiety and the depression is what they live off of. They are dark energy. They like your dark energy. God cannot dwell in dark energy, because he's all light and he's all good and he's all love. He can only reside in light. I'm trying to be as light and shiny as I can, and I'm trying to bring that to the world. It's not about me. It's about you and your relationship with the creator. And I know it's a weird day and age we live in, you guys. And what I was going to say earlier is, if I saw a girl like me online, I would be skeptical at first, but then I would watch the videos and I would see that there's no way I could be lying. If you know me, then you know, but most of you probably don't. I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't do it. And I'm doing my best to explain something that happened to me when I died, my sole purpose, the fact that I will die for this purpose. And in my thoughts, theories, visions, and hearings, so will my son. And it's something that I have to live with, something that I pray about, something that I cope with. But the creator needs certain things from us, certain energy. And I guess when a soul contains so much good energy, then, but we need you to be good too. Once you feel his love, and once you realize how much he loves you, really, like, you will chase him like a lion. You'll be like, I don't need drugs. I don't need alcohol. I don't need crazy sex. I don't need movies. I don't need my phone until 4 a.m. You don't need anything but him. And that's the way the world needs to get, because he likes to be appreciated and loved. I mean, everybody does. Why wouldn't the creator, who is love, want to be loved and appreciated? Nobody taught me to love him or hate him. Nobody taught me to fear God. Nobody taught me to love God. He taught me to love him. And my way isn't the only way, but I'm trying to show you that your soul does not need that mediator that they call Jesus. That is a made-up Constantine, KJV, NIV situation that has manipulated the world. It just is. And when you get to the heavenly place and they say, what did you do to find the creator? You're not worthy enough to come. You didn't do any mitzvahs. You didn't try to correct yourself. You didn't pray. You didn't mitzvah. The world in Christianity, repentance, praying and being really sorry about it and trying not to do it again. Making changes in your life, correcting your behavior. That's all it means. You can call it teshuvah or repentance or mitzvahs they do in Hebrew. And I'm not to get into all that, because that's not my thing. I don't understand all those rules, so I don't want to misquote them. All I mean to say is that nobody taught me to fear or love, so I'm with all love. I went with all love, and that's really all I know, and that's what I'm trying to give to you guys, because that's what he told me and showed me that he is. He was good enough and kind enough, though he was shy, to expose these things to me beginning in 2020. Because those of you that don't know, I died in 2010, but I didn't remember a thing about it until 2020. So that's been going on for the last 2-point-some years. So this is new to me too. I'm not trying to come here and be a know-it-all about the world. I'm just telling you what's been told to me. And it's like, AI is real, you guys. We live in an electric world. It's why let's go crazy, electric word life. Boy, I want to say that I hesitate, but the creators of the New Testament and things like that, they knew when they were writing it, like they were writing about weather and volcanoes and earthquakes and things like that that would happen at the end of time. And so the way that I saw it was like a movie. It was like volcanoes were electric, that though the pyramids used to be the whole big, what are they? Now that's all underwater, especially to do with Maui, the naval base, like I talk about. They fly, crafts in and out of there all the time, but I believe they're underwater, which is why marine biology is what it is. And so, it's they do a lot of things underwater because of the electricity. I couldn't explain it if I wanted to. But AI is real, you guys, and it's the secret that the whole world is like, oh, is there, isn't there? They're trying to pretend they don't know, but they do know, and they know exactly what the source is, and that source has been hidden from us, and it's not going to be for long, you guys. And I can't help the message I was sent to give, but I'm going to give it with all of my heart and soul, every bit of me. So, like I always say, I think of 10,000 gajillion things to say when I leave, but I think I'm going to be done talking, trying to keep the videos a little shorter. I love you guys. And I'll be back to do another investigation video next. Not today, but next time. So thank you for being here. Much love. Bye.